Hello, Brad Schielke here at Conversations with Mormons. This is part 5 of Knowing My Enemy. Mormons are never my enemy. My only enemy is the father of the lie. Last week I mentioned that the liar, who is also called the slanderer, seeks to kick Jesus and his perfection out of the conversation in order to get me to be self-righteous. While it's good to be righteous, it's never good to be self-righteous, which never produces true righteousness or the true right relationships that we desire. What tool does the liar use to kick Jesus out of the conversation? The liar can't just tell me to be self-righteous, since that's too obvious. I've often unwittingly been self-righteous and only later realized it. I somehow got tricked. What tool did the liar use to get me to do something that I know is fake or false? I'm not alone in this problem. You may not experience this, but hundreds of Mormons have privately told me that what they can't stand in other Mormons is judgmentalism, which we all know is self-righteousness. I agreed with each person that it's always evil to be judgmental. I then casually asked if it's easy for them to resist being judgmental toward judgmental people. Each time they sheepishly confessed to being just like those they criticized. What tool did the liar use to trick them too? Let's remove the confusion by asking the question more simply. What tool does the liar use to kick perfection out of the conversation? It's important to notice that perfection here means moral perfection or freedom from any moral flaw. This isn't just an abstract idea, because moral perfection touches the heart of what it means to be human. To be human is a moment-by-moment experience of moral expectations for good and right thoughts and actions, both for ourselves and for those we interact with. When you think he shouldn't do that, or I shouldn't do that, you're expressing a moral expectation. This is difficult to notice because we do it all the time. Pondering our moral expectations is like a fish pondering the water it swims in. The fish has always been in the water and knows nothing else. Does the fish notice the meaning of the water? My conversations with Mormons are like one fish talking with another fish about the meaning of the water we both swim in. The water is our ubiquitous moral expectations. My questions invite others to join me in noticing and pondering these expectations to understand what they are and how they work. Moral expectations are all about measuring life. My main goal in a conversation has 3 aspects. First, I try to help others notice the meaning of their words when they tell me that I should never do evil. Second, I try to help them see their need to take seriously their own words that we should always measure by moral flawlessness. Third, I try to help them notice that all our self-righteousness, judgmentalism, and evil treatment of ourselves and others results from not measuring by moral flawlessness. Everyone smiles as they apply moral flawlessness to me first and then to themselves. I commonly point out their smiles and ask why they smile while calling me a failure. This is because measuring by moral flawlessness not only kicks all pride, all judgmentalism, and all self-condemnation out of the conversation, it also brings into the conversation humility, unity, joy, and more. When I measure by moral flawlessness, I see that everyone is in the same boat I am, flawed. It helps me see life in a good way, and because of that, I respond in a good way. When I don't measure by moral flawlessness, I judge others based on how I'm doing and don't see life in a good way. My vision of life gets distorted, even blocked, and because of that, I respond in bad ways. The liar hates moral flawlessness and seeks to use his one and only tool in subtle ways to hijack the conversation of my life and yours. Ready for the tool the liar uses? He always tells me to have good expectation for myself and others. He does it in a subtle and deceptive way to block our awareness of moral flawlessness so that we don't even consider it. The only alternative to moral flawlessness is leniency. The liar loves leniency. Leniency lowers and cheapens standards and is always a lie because it rejects moral flawlessness as the only good and right way to measure the current moral situation, whatever it might be. To notice and grasp the power of leniency brings the liar's tool out of the shadows into the bright sunlight. He can't trick me while I'm alert to his trick. Leniency is also practical. Next week we'll look at leniency in one of Jesus' most famous statements. Until then, why not explore the power of leniency in your life? When you have a bad reaction to someone, ask yourself if you're measuring that person by Jesus, by moral flawlessness, or by some lower and lenient expectation. And why not join me in thanking God for sending Jesus Christ to die in your place to free you from any need to be lenient? Welcome to the conversation.